You know that shot in the trailer where Dracula is commanding a bunch of bats to, like, crash down on an army of Turks? All I gotta wonder is how many bats gave up their lives to satisfy Dracula's bat bending? Dracula Untold is the untold retelling of Dracula from Universal and Legendary, except this time it's not based on Bram Stoker's novel, like some of the past movies have been. This one follows Transylvanian prince Vlad the Impaler, played by Luke Evans. He is destined to defend his kingdom and family from the invading Turks. And to do this, he must go seek a dark power which eventually turns him into Count Dracula. Now, I'm a casual fan of the Universal monsters, like Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, etc. And their most recent movies have been definitely hit or miss. I like the first Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser. I even enjoyed the sequel, even though it's not a good movie technically. We don't talk about the third Mummy movie. I did not see the 2010 remake of The Wolfman, and Van Helsing was a very mediocre movie with a good idea hidden somewhere. And that's pretty much how to explain what Dracula Untold is. It's a mediocre movie that has some good in it somewhere. It's nothing that's awful, it's just nothing special at all. The dialogue, a lot of it feels like exposition rather than stuff that would really like build up the lore of Dracula. Some of the characters are boring and some of the actors aren't very good. I mean, Luke Evans is good, and then also, I believe it's Charlie Dance who's in this movie as an older vampire. He's there basically playing Tywin Lannister again, but he does a good job at playing Tywin Lannister as a vampire. And then you have people like Dominic Cooper, who has been good in other things, except here it looked like he was having a difficult time keeping his Turkish accent. Because of that, he didn't come across as very good. And then some of the action scenes reminded me of Batman Begins, where it was poorly shot and lazily edited. The worst I've seen is there's a point in the movie where like it shows a sword, like a close-up on a sword, but the fighting is all shown in the sword's reflection, and you can't even tell what's going on. If you think the close-up shots of action aren't confusing enough, wait till you try to make out the action from a reflection of a sword. But then there are other points where the action is pretty cool, like bat bending. Even though it sort of feels like the writer's just making up his powers as the movie goes along, admittedly the bat bending looks a little cool. One thing I have to give this movie credit for, though, is finally we have a movie after the 5 dark years of Twilight to make vampires cool, or at least threatening again. No glittering vampires, no like emo vampires that are basically superheroes. I mean, granted, Dracula does have some superpowers here, but he at least is threatening at some point. Now, it sounds like I hated this movie, just that I don't have much good to say about it, and the truth is, I don't. It's just not that special. This is the kind of movie that, if you were to watch it at home, you'd be fine with it, so I'd say watch it at your own risk. I enjoyed watching it, but then again, this isn't something you should go to the theater to see. And I've heard that this is supposed to jumpstart the Universal monster universe, and if that's the case, then, oh boy, this is not a good start at all. Again, not horrible, but just not all that great either. And that's my review for Dracula Untold. Leave a comment, tell me what you thought of the movie. You can subscribe to my channel for more stuff in the future. Check out my video blog channel, AlexG842. You can find links to my Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram accounts on this YouTube page. Go check me out at letterboxd.com under the name Mr. Robinson, as well as my written reviews on Geeked Out Nation. Share with your friends and tell them about me. This is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there is only one. See you guys later.